And good morning. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares. So, today I really want to touch on an extremely important topic. Not that every topic I talk about isn't important, but this one I think will hit home with a lot of people and a lot of people that have teenagers because this is a huge growing problem. And I want to talk about the dangers of energy drinks because kids tend to think that's the cool thing to do, right? To pop a can of all these different energy drinks that are easily accessible to anybody, right? And that's the cool thing to do. And it is not. They can be extremely dangerous to anyone, but more so to younger children and adolescents because of their lower tolerance for caffeine. So, kind of let me give you a few numbers so you can kind of start to see this. So, a can of soda, depending on the kind, but roughly contains about 35 milligrams of caffeine. These energy drinks that I'm referring to per can contain anywhere on average from about 151 all the way to 280. Sorry, I had it written down 280 milligrams of caffeine. That's a lot, okay? When a can of soda is 35. And the larger cans, because they sell those larger cans, I'm sure you guys have seen them, whether at the grocery store, the gas station, wherever, those actually can contain 500 milligrams of caffeine per can. Okay, soda's 35. A cup of coffee is right around 100, depending. I mean, if you take the extra shot of espresso, that's a different story. But roughly, a regular cup of coffee is between 95 and 100 milligrams of caffeine. And we're talking a can of this stuff could contain up to 500 milligrams of caffeine. Now, besides the caffeine, look at all the sugars that are in here. On the average can, the one that I'm talking about that contains about the 151 to 280, those are usually around the 50 mark for grams of sugar. That is insane, okay? 51 milligrams of sugar per can. Wow, guys, that's even more than soda too, okay? So think about it. Let's talk about all the dangers of what this can do. Obviously, you're gonna have that much caffeine, you're gonna have that much sugar. There's a lot of problems that this can cause. First, it's gonna cause dehydration, okay? Because you're not getting enough water. What happens when you drink a lot of caffeine? Okay, you're like, oh my gosh, shouldn't have the last cup of coffee. You're running to the restroom, right? Okay, fine. Now, all that's going away. What are you replacing it with? Nothing. Okay, if you keep doing that over and over because you drank that big can that has either 300 or 500 milligrams of caffeine, you're going to keep running to the bathroom, right? And you're going to quickly dehydrate if you are not replacing those fluids with water, okay? Because of the high caffeine content, there's all kinds of other problems, heart complications. You can have irregular heartbeats. You can have heart failure because of all that caffeine. People talk about the jitters, right? You're getting shaky. So you feel nervous, you feel anxious, you feel jittery, right? You feel out of sorts. If you've ever drank a whole bunch of caffeine like quickly all at once, you know what I'm talking about. You're almost like you feel like you're looking at yourself, right? Like you're totally out of sorts, like this out of body experience. Well, these people are doing this all the time. They think that's normal. It is not normal. Insomnia, because if you're drinking all that caffeine, what's going to happen? You're going to have trouble sleeping. And we know sleep is one of the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. We talked about that weeks ago. Sleep is important, so important to your health and wellness. And if you're not getting proper sleep because of all this caffeine, it's going to keep snowballing into so many other health issues. All that sugar, what's that going to do to your teeth? It's going to decay your teeth if you're doing this all the time. You're not going and brushing your teeth constantly, right? You're drinking these cans. You're not have access to do that. And you're not surely not even thinking about it, because if you're putting that stuff in your body, you're not thinking about the other things that it's doing to yourself. So tooth decay, huge problem. Weight gain. I don't care if you're drinking the zero, okay? Because yeah, there's no calories, blah, blah, blah. The zero is still not good for you, okay? It's gonna have all those additives and everything else. But all that sugar over and over and over is not going to be good for your weight. Because if you're drinking that stuff, what are you having that with? What are you having those energy drinks with? Probably something else unhealthy, right? So it just keeps snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. All this sugar can increase your risk for diabetes. Nobody wants that, you guys. I mean, talk to somebody that has it. You've got to really take control of your life. You do not want this. You don't want it for your children, okay? Please show them by example what is the right thing to do. Obviously, I talked about heart disease and high blood pressure, okay? If you're having this much caffeine, your blood pressure is gonna be through the roof. And that just, again, you do not want to come see me at the pharmacy because you made bad choices or you're having your children make bad choices. There's no reason children should have that high of blood pressure or any of these other whole host of problems. So it is so important that we talk with our kids. We lead by example. Don't buy the stuff, number one, but lead by example. Show them there are healthy ways that they can get energy if they don't have it. And most kids have plenty of energy. They're just doing it to be cool. And like I said, it's not cool. Okay. And if you're like, Amy, I need the energy, I get it. Okay. I run all day too. I know. And especially on a gloomy day, although today's gorgeous, it's sunny, but I know what it's like. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get up at the 5 o'clock hour again. I get it. Okay. Fine. Have your cup of coffee. There's still some health benefits to coffee. It's not terrible. Okay. These other things are terrible, period. They seriously are. So what is an average adult supposed to have, or well, max, not supposed to have, what is the max caffeine intake for an adult per day? 400 milligrams of caffeine is the average. Some have less, obviously some have more. We've seen that. So that equates to about 4 cups of coffee. Not unheard of. People do that. They might have a cup or two in the morning, some at lunch, in the afternoon. I probably wouldn't unless you got a long night, I guess, because you definitely don't want that to affect your sleep. So that's what an adult max, 400, okay? What about children? They're not really supposed to be having it, okay? Anybody before 12, there's no reason that they need this, okay? I mean, there's enough stimulants going on. They don't need caffeine. They get enough natural caffeine if they're eating chocolate or if they are even it's summer, right? People think about drinking iced tea. There's other sources of caffeine that kids get that you don't need to be feeding them extra. As for adolescents 12 and up, no more than 100 milligrams of caffeine a day. Okay, so roughly 2 to 3 sodas, maybe a cup of coffee if they're drinking coffee. But definitely those energy drinks have no place in this, right? Because I told you 150 milligrams of caffeine, milligrams of caffeine is where this started. If they're not supposed to have 100, they can't even have these energy drinks, right? So it should not even be something that is on the table for them. So these energy drinks last in your system approximately 12 hours. So if it's sticking around that long, and give or take, depending on how quickly certain things are metabolized, how your liver is metabolizing this. But if it's sticking around 12 hours and you decided, oh my gosh, I need another one because it's in your head that you think you need another one, the other one hasn't even processed through yet. And now your intake is going up and up and up, and you are just at this level that what's going to happen? You are going to crash, because you will. Your body can't sustain like this at all these levels, and your blood pressure's up. And then when all those things start going back to their normal level, you're gonna feel exhausted, absolutely exhausted, just wiped out. And that is not a good feeling to have. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go pop another can, right? Or even drink coffee on top of it. All those things. These things really should not be done. They are absolutely so dangerous. So there are healthy alternatives to supplement energy. B vitamins are a great way to supplement energy. You come to the pharmacy, you can find B complexes. You can find B complex Bs in a lot of foods and other healthy, safe drinks, because it's a water soluble vitamin. So whatever your body doesn't absorb, you're going to just void out. Okay, so you're not going to get toxic levels in your system of B vitamins, which is fantastic. Those are good choices. Green tea is another naturally occurring safe way to get caffeine. And I talked about chocolate. Everybody knows there's caffeine in chocolate as well. Again, moderation. Don't be just, eating all this chocolate and say, that's okay, I just need caffeine. It's fine for a little pick me up, but not something to do on a regular basis. So there are definitely good choices that we can have out there. I want to make sure I think I hit all my points that I wanted to, but you guys, it is so key that you just show your children this is not a good thing. So what I just talked about earlier was about caffeine, how adolescents cannot tolerate caffeine. So what does that mean? That's going to lead to a higher risk for overdose. Yes, caffeine overdose is real. It is rare, but it is real. And it is more common amongst adolescents or children for this exact reason, because they can't process all that caffeine in these high doses. And these definitely are related to those energy drinks that I'm referring to that are just so full of energy, and caffeine supplements, or people chewing on the coffee beans and all these other crazy things that they can get access to now. So it is so important that you have a talk with your kids. Let them know this is real. They need to stay away from these things. They are harming themselves, and it's going to take a long time to start fixing some of these things that they've done, if they've done them for years and years. Now, if you are looking for safe alternatives for their hydration when they're tired, for a little pick me up of energy for you or for your adolescents, please reach out to me. I would love to talk with you about some safe alternatives that you can do that are easy, that are still cool, right? And they can really help your health and wellness and help you all with that mental clarity and helping with all those 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine to keep everything in check, to keep your body healthy and happy. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist